All right, let's get into the next step of things now. The paper review is what we'll look at now. A lot of headlines jostling for one's attention this morning.
Absolutely.
We have joining us to discuss this, Chris Kende Wandu, to have analysis on the paper this morning. Chris, good morning.
It's nice to be here once again.
Nice to see you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so we go into the first paper, The Punch, and it's a potpourri of stories on the front page. Countless stories, really. So we talk about the first story, major story, and FG will prosecute tax evaders from March 31st at Dioshun once. Nigeria faces expulsion from Egmont Group. Of course, we know that this is the deadline month of VATs, the window given to tax evaders to come in and declare their assets and, of course, pay the appropriate tax.
Yes, tax payment is a culture that we are not used to here. In other climes in the United States, UK, and the rest of them, tax evasion is a very terrible crime, and it has been embedded within the system that you don't even need to pay. Most often than what happens is that even the goods and services that you patronize, it has already been embedded into the distance. So it makes it very seamless for people to pay at times, apart from the income tax and the other taxes. But here we are still finding it difficult to. So then, secondly, the flip side is that most people see what their taxes are used for.
True.
And that is what we are having, the issue we are having in Nigeria. People don't believe in paying taxes because they believe that...
But how would you see evidence of your tax payment if you don't pay in the first place?
That's what I'm saying. But it goes side by side.
It's the issue of the hen
and
the egg.
Yes, it's the hen and the egg. And apart from that, when people continue to hear about corruption, people embezzling money and the rest, and these are public funds. And to the average person on the streets, just
but to be fair, from the analysis, it seemed like those who even are above the average are the ones who evade tax the most.
Not only the average, the very rich.
The rich
very rich.
The
very rich.
Exactly.
The poor man doesn't have a problem with paying us and the rest of them. I don't know, just as I said. But the main defaulters, not only in Nigeria this time around, across the globe, they are the multi-rich. Look at, even if you look at the sports pay, there has been so many Messi, Neymar, name them, all the top guys have any for one time or the other has been, they've been prosecuted for years to have evaded tax and rest of them.
Even Suarez. All right, so we'll go to another story. Lagos residents accuse police of vandalizing 200 vehicles, and this happened at Mushin area of Lagos, and that area in particular is gradually becoming a hotbed of criminals, kind of almost on a daily basis. If you don't hear residents being killed, it will be one cult activity or the other, and residents accuse police officers of doing this because as a reprisal for the killing of one of them.
Well, if you know the history of Mushin, for those of us that grew up in Lagos, that were born and bred in Lagos, Mushin, when you hear the name Mushin, what comes to your mind first is, pardon my use of language, a jungle city. Mushin, Ajegule, has always had the shanties, you know, that kind of stuff. And but for some time, there will be some level of transformation there. If you go to Mushin, you'll be shocked.
Ajegule is now AJCT.
Just changed. Everything has changed.
Well, beyond the structure, really, the activities go on.
No, it goes with that. Because when you put the proper structure in place, the possibility for people to be fully engaged in why most of these miscreants is because they don't have anything to do, most of them. Okay, but when you get them fully engaged, you see that most often than not, there is a tendency for them to just shy away from crime and get themselves properly engaged. In the past 10 years, in fact, since 1999, since the when we have civilian administration, there has been a total transformation in Mushin and the rest of them. That even Mushin has been overshadowed by Ikorodu. You know what has been the problem that we have been having. So you don't have such happening in Mushin again. The shift was to.
But somehow it's still common knowledge that cult activities are very rife.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Even the cult activity you're talking about has been predominantly in Ikorodu area. Yeah. Okay. Then, but Mushin, from what I gathered, the police got information and moved in. And if you see, I'm sure some of the papers will have these pictures.
The
drug dealers, if you see heaps of drugs that were recovered from Mushin which the police commissioner said that wasn't good enough. And if that is not checked, that we're going to be a problem. And about 70 people were arrested and the rest of them, and they were paraded recently. I think if the police vandalized vehicle for the fun of it, that is bad. That should be
investigated. Well, the police has denied it already. But the fear is, and which some are already saying, is that these hoodlums, after attacking police officers when they took possession of those drugs, with stones and sticks, then broken bottles, ran back to get guns and started shooting at the police officers.
The police has the right to defend themselves.
The problem of arms proliferation.
Yes.
Apart from defending themselves, the police have the right to dislodge them.
Because if they don't do that,
the problem of arms proliferation now.
Good. You know, the commissioner of police also last week came out with a statement that everybody that has arms should submit it for validation. Yes, you know, and that is, I'm sure they must have said that something like this is coming. And coupled with the fact that we're going to 2019, there'll be a lot of arms.
Okay, quickly, Aisha Buhari celebrates son's return from medical trip. Yusuf is back, but then looking at the bigger picture, the father went on medical tourism, the son the same, and then the health sector of the country at the state of, I don't want to say comatose.
Yes, it's not a good one for us, but first and foremost, let me congratulate the president, the first family for the recovery of Yusuf. So many rumors were peddled. The guy at the point they were saying he was even dead and the rest of it. I was happy to see him back, but that also speaks volume about the state of our health facilities in Nigeria. If he's not the son of the president, probably wouldn't have gotten the kind of deal he had, and probably would have died from the injury. There are 1,000,001 other people, other Yusufs in this country that are dying daily because they couldn't get that kind of treatment. So the government should do something. Ekweme was almost dying here, and we rushed him abroad, and the man died there. And so many other people have died. So
and he was a former vice president of this country.
All right, let's just quickly run through other stories. Sultan-led group attacks FG over girls' abduction. Dapchi schools remain closed 11 days after. We will prosecute Bello for double registration, says INEC. That's Kogi governor. Constitution review states demand devolution of powers, but reject LG autonomy. Army fails to identify soldiers involved in Oyo killing, and alleged false information. Melaye arraigned, granted 100,000 naira bail. Kogi police trying to arrest me. That's Senator talking.
100,000
naira bail.
100,000 naira.
Isn't bail supposed to be free?
This is in the context of surety. Oh, it's not even the context.
It's a bail. It's supposed to be free.
It's meant to be free.
Bail is supposed to be free.
The police is your friend. Let's move to the Nation newspaper now. All right, reps, we have idea where abducted Dapchi girls are. Parents launch prayer war for girls' return. And the JNI, that's the Jama'atu Nasir Islam, to government heads must rule as far as the Dapchi girls are concerned. Now, we have idea where abducted Dapchi girls are. This is a House of Rep member, Goni Bukar from Yunusari, Gaydam constituency in Yobe State, saying that I am in touch with the guys on the field, and it seemed like, in fact, he was saying that within the Yunusari local government area.
Well, they've started again. They've started again.
We've heard this before.
We've heard this before. So it's on the back. I just believe that a highly placed Nigerian like him shouldn't be coming out to be saying that to the public. If you have any information, you should direct it to the security agencies. And if there's going to be negotiation, any kind of this thing, it's not everything that you put on public. Because by so doing, you put the life of those who jeopardize the negotiation and put the life of the children at stake. We don't do that. You don't get to see that in other climes. There are ways of managing, we are information managers. And there are better ways of managing information like that. And
coming from a lawmaker that is supposed to know better, really,
that's what I'm saying.
Even frustrate the efforts of the security operatives. Because he even said that Boko Haram members had been living in a particular community within Yobe State for close to 4 years.
Well, if he has such information, did he pass it on to the security agency? That's what I continue saying. They shouldn't start calling this thing. This was the same road we passed through and went through during the Chibok.
Sense of deja vu.
And even part of that, when a House of Rep member says, I get information from the operations, the military guys on the field, how much of a breach of procedure is
That is what I'm saying. Are you the chief of army staff? Are you
Commander-in-chief of army
or the DSS director?
Are you the man in charge of the operation on ground and rest of them? Are you the director of DSS? These guys just open their mouths and just talk for talking sake. It shouldn't be. They shouldn't be doing that. What is paramount to Nigerians is that how can we get these children back as quickly as possible, so that we don't run into the same system that we had before. For all I care, you will be shocked that for whatever he's saying, most of the way they do these stuffs, once they pick them up, what they do is just share them, quote and unquote. They share them and distribute them. Take some are taken out of Nigeria, some are taken them, some taken to Niger, some are taken to Chad, and rest of them.
So, Pastor, we can't ever get all of them.
Cannot. It's very, very difficult, and the longer it takes for us to recover them, the more difficult for us to be able to get all of them back.
Sadly. All
right, we have others here. Nigeria got $12.2 billion capital inflows in 2017. That says Nigeria Bureau of Statistics.
Good.
That was an improvement of the previous year. Yes. That was about $5 billion.
Yes, it is. The more reason why I was talking on the channel within the station on the program yesterday, where I said that we should start looking at diaspora voting. If we're getting so much from most of our people, there should be opportunity for them to also to vote, to also contribute to who rules, who governs us, and how Nigeria is governed. So we cannot just totally shut our door to them.
In fact, now that
the Electoral Act should be fully amended to take care of that instead of running after.
Now that INEC has given us a 34-year or 36 years, whatever, we should know there should also be a projection. By year 2024, we should have diaspora voting.
Exactly.
Like it would be a
just as they have a projection as what the inflow we are getting, they also have
exactly developmental roadmap. All right, so we go quickly to the Daily Sun. The major story here: battle for Northeast. Army commander, 5 terrorists killed. Naval personnel also in bomb explosion. Fierce battle in Borno after telling us that the military had taken over Camp Zairo in Sambisa Forest, that Boko Haram had been defeated and frustrated to just carrying out pockets of suicide bombings, and now we are getting attacks and kidnappings all over again.
You know, I said it on this program, I've said it several times, that part of I go back probably as a communication person, that our information flow should be well tailored towards achieving desired results. When I can take when the politicians talk and say, oh, for political exigencies, Minister of Information comes and say it has been technically defeated, it has been that. Then I can take that coming from a politician. So, but when the military authority comes out and say categorically that Boko Haram has been defeated, they didn't say technically, they said they have defeated, then that statement it's laced with a lot of doubt, because what you are trying to do is now prompting the insurgents again to be able to prove to you that, you say we've been defeated, we'll show you that we are still here. And that is what is happening. So it's a reaction to some of the comments being made by our military authorities. So the military authorities should be able to know how to handle some of. You don't when the Tamil Tigers were defeated, they were. It took so many years for them to be defeated in Sri Lanka. It took so many years. And when they were finally defeated,
it was obvious.
And they told you that this is done, and that was
flawless victory. All right, EFCC Magu going nowhere. That's according to Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. And in fact, Magu is even saying that the lack of support from the National Assembly is even like an encouragement for him to even perform better, really. So just run through this one because of time. Hold your leaders accountable. Wike tells Nigerians. Flags off construction of LML Igbo Road. Buhari's wife thanks God over son's full recovery return. SARS operatives trap Melaye in FCT court. Senator arraigned for alleged false information. And of course, Obasanjo giving account of how my coup against Americans backfired. That's about it on the Sun.
All right, the Vanguard newspaper, Dapchi girls, herds must roll in military and police. JNI is saying that. And then we also have the picture of the president's son returning, Yusuf, from his medical trip. And then on the front page, we have the obvious there. I think the you know, declaration from the governor.
It's getting started.
Yeah, exactly. And this is part of it. However, the Vanguard is just clear. We've talked about this before. So,
half of it is for
half of it is
money making.
Is campaign. Okay. All right. This is where we round off on the papers right now. But Chris will be keeping you for the next discussion.
Yes.
No problem.
Stay with
on
us.
the Lake Chat.